another title. As if they didn't have enough, Tony Khan has announced that they will be introducing an AEW National Championship at Full Gear. We're going to talk about it right here in Alyx's World. Hello all, and welcome to Alyx's World, a safe space for wrestling fans like you. I'm your host, Alyx, just Alyx. Man, I keep telling y'all, I turn on AEW looking to like the shows. I turn on All Elite Wrestling not to hate on it, not for, what do they call it, hate watching. I don't do that stuff. If I don't think a show is going to be good, I just don't watch it. But now I sound and look insane because every single week I make that statement. I come up here, say that exact same thing. I'm not looking to hate the show. And then what do? I come up here to hate on the show, to rant on it, to talk about how bad it was, how lifeless it was, how much of a waste of time it was. And then I get bullied and harassed by the AEW sickos, which, let's just be real, when it comes to X, they're probably bots. They're not real people. They're just paid for accounts to, what do they call it? What do the kids call it? To ratio me. Because I had an opinion that did not meet or did not match what they felt about the show. I know I'm supposed to say AEW is better than WWE because it's not WWE. I don't give a damn. You need AEW. The business needs AEW. You need the alternative. You know what I would love better than an alternative? An alternative that's worth a damn. AEW continues to drop the ball with weekly shows. And then they wonder why they can't keep up with WWE. Yes, the wrestling's good. We go through this every single goddamn week. The wrestling is good. We know that. But guess what? The wrestling is also good on Monday Night Raw. It's also good on NXT. It's also good on Friday Night SmackDown. I saw one of the best matches all year on SmackDown last week, Ilya Dragunov versus Nathan Frazier, which cleared any match I got tonight on Dynamite. So now what do you got? Now what do you have when WWE is capable of having better wrestling than you on top of better storytelling, character development, all of that? What about your show makes you worth a damn? Besides the fact that you're not WWE. Don't worry, I'll wait. And so, with Tony Khan, in a very, in terms of where he is on the totem pole. Yes, you're still number 2, but a far distant number 2. There is no buzz whatsoever about this show. Your ratings are in the goddamn toilet. No one's talking about you. Hell, I doubt people are watching this live stream right now. I don't blame them. To the people who are, thank you. So, during this time, when WWE, let's call it like it is, WWE is not lighting the world on fire either. Matter of fact, WWE has hit a very long cold period that they have not gotten out of since WrestleMania. They haven't gotten out of it. WWE has not been doing good business. They did not sell out the Halloween episode, even though they had a great match between Ilya Dragunov and Nathan Frazier. They have not been doing good business. They haven't. That's the truth. But during this time, when WWE isn't doing great, this is when AEW should be picking up the slack and whipping ass. But instead, they're also in a creative slump. I thought tonight's episode was lifeless, very generic, paint by numbers, dumb, idiotic bore fest. And Tony Khan's big announcement, the best idea that he's come up with because it's great. This great idea to combat whatever slope they're in, to get people interested, is to, oh, you know what? I'm going to just let you figure it out. What does Tony Khan love to do when things aren't hot? What is something that he's been doing, let's just call it like it is, since AEW's inception, that he continues to do, that he thinks is going to make the show better? If you said, bring in another title, ding, 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 another AEW championship. Who the hell asked for that? It's bad enough that you're doing women's tag team titles. Dear God. But now we're doing an AEW national championship. Now, it's not the international championship. It's the national championship. But here's the thing. The AEW national championship is literally the international championship, because it's a title that's going to be defended outside the company, which is what the international title was made for. So you create another title, but weren't original enough to give it its own unique branding, its own unique style, its own uniqueness in terms of how it's defended. It's just another title. Tony, my dude, do you just get bored? Does Tony Khan just get bored one day and just go, I have an idea, another title? If you ask Tony Khan right now, name me all the champions you have, go, including Ring of Honor, I guarantee you, he wouldn't be able to do it. I can't do it. I don't even know all the champions. Let me see if I can. No, I'm not. I'm not going to try to guess all the champions on the main roster. All right? The ones you see over here are the ones that I'm talking about. But if you asked him, name me all the champions that you have, including Ring of Honor right now, I guarantee you he wouldn't be able to do it because there's too many belts. So now let's add the women's tag team titles and then a national title. How is this making the show better? How is this in any way going to make people want to watch AEW? How is this going to increase the revenue for your pay-per-views? Dear God, there are still $50 in this economy. I was hoping when you moved to streaming, that would have changed things. But now Tony Khan is at the point where we have so many goddamn belts that I can't, and I'm serious, I can't even keep up with them. And it's diluting the belts we have now. If you don't have a belt in AEW, you're trash.
Big news, Alyx and Chat got married 5 days ago, carrot.
Wow. Asuna Luna has tied the knot. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you for sharing that news with us. That's awesome. People get married. That's better than anything AEW has done. That's for sure. People get married. You love to see it. No, for real though, like, every single week, it feels like we get another championship. And every single week, they dilute the titles they have now. They do realize that, right? The more titles you introduce, the more you dilute the titles that you already have. Who gets over with this? Who truly gets over with you adding another title? I understand you have a big roster. More than ever, that's a reason to have less. Less is more. It makes no sense whatsoever to bring in another title. Who are you going to give it to? Ricochet, hopefully. But, okay, Ricochet is going to have a title where he defends it outside of AEW. Ricochet should be holding a title that's currently on screen right now. Are you going to give it to Shelton Benjamin? Okay. I mean, great, but like, again, that's another person who should be holding that title on screen. And speaking of the show, tonight was just, it was one of those nights where they were doing matches to hype up the big event next week, which is, of course, AEW Blood and Guts, which is, I think it's going to be 2.5 hours, right? It's going to be a 2.5 hour show. I would, at this point, wonder why they're not making this a pay-per-view. Quite honestly. This should have happened in October. This should have been the show they did in October, because Wrestle Dream, I completely forgot about Wrestle Dream and whatever the hell happened on that show. But it wouldn't have worked because St. Louis doesn't allow blood, so never mind. Regardless, Blood and Guts needs to be a pay-per-view that hopefully next year they won't make us spend $50 on. So, 2.5 hour show. We're going to have a women's Blood and Guts match. I was getting ready to say War Games. Same match, just not called War Games. And that's going to have 12 people in it. But then the men's is going to have 5-on-5, which is 10. Why do the women have more? And I'm scared that's going to make it more clunkier. And it might not end up being all that good. I hope I'm wrong. But to decide who gets the advantage, they just had random matches tonight with people who are in these matches to decide who gets the advantage, which team gets the advantage. Some matches were good, others were very missable and really not worth your time. Claudio Castagnoli versus Orange Cassidy was a really good match. Claudio rightfully won. And then, of course, Darby Allin versus... I'm sorry, Daniel Garcia. What the hell happened to this man? Anyone else just think Daniel Garcia is just lifeless and boring and has no kind of intrigue about him whatsoever? He's reminding me of Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, but in a bad way. There's no intrigue to his character since he joined the Death Riders. But Darby Allin beats him, so the final match will be between Jon Moxley and Roderick Strong on Collision, which I'm not gonna watch. So I'm assuming Jon Moxley wins that, right? Cool. Nice. So that's going to give the Death Riders the advantage. Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron got the upset. A massive upset over Athena and Mercedes Moné. That's nice to see. I'm assuming they're the favorites to win because everyone's thinking Toni Storm and, of course, Mina Shirakawa are the ones to get the win, but they're the ones that people expect to win. I believe Tony Khan's going to give it to a team that no one expects to win. Willow and Harley Cameron would be amazing. That would be the team I give it to. Will they do it? Probably not. But I'm not here to tell him what to do. I'm not booking the show. I believe that if I was, though, I would give the belts to the team that no one expects, Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale. Because I was expecting Mercedes Moné and Athena to go to the finals. That's not happening. So, yeah, we'll have to see where this goes. I didn't think much was going to happen in terms of anything else on this show outside of the women's tag team tournament matches. And I wasn't wrong. They tried to bring some interest to the show by having a trios title match. The Ops, that Samoa Joe's team, taking on Hangman Page, Hook, and the returning, everyone loves him, Eddie Kingston. Guess who won that match? The Ops. Of course they were. At the very least, could we have gotten new champs? Wouldn't have made much sense to do Hangman Page with Hook and Eddie Kingston, though. That would have been dumb, so... Probably not. It wasn't going to work out. But outside of that, it's just like, it was a show. And then FTR had a segment where they were picking on Bro Dito's family. I'm sorry. I didn't care. I just did not care. It's a lifeless episode. And the only thing that people are going to constantly go to is that the wrestling was good. And I'm going to have to keep telling it like it is when it comes to that. Yes, the wrestling is good. You will never hear me, well, anytime soon, you will never hear me say AEW has bad matches. Do they have bad matches occasionally? Rarely? Sure. But overall, I am expecting good wrestling. But I would like another reason to watch these shows outside of that. AEW has done long-term storytelling before. And while WWE also has its issues, that's not an excuse for AEW to be having theirs right now. We can sit here all day and talk about how WWE is not fun to watch, how WWE is dropping the ball with certain talent, the stuff with John Cena, his heel turn not working out, Cody Rhodes not really being that interesting of a world champion, probably should have kept the belt on John Cena as a heel, regardless. Drew McIntyre probably should have beat him at Saturday Night's Main Event. Hopefully he beats him at Survivor Series. There are so many things I can complain about when it comes to WWE, rightfully so. But that's not an excuse for why AEW is not doing very well. Just because WWE sucks, it doesn't give AEW the excuse to suck. If anything, they should be killing it. This is the time where they should be lighting the world on fire. And right now, there is nothing about this show that is must-see. Hangman Page is a boring world champion. I'm sorry, he is. You gave him the moment. Quite frankly, probably should have given it to Will Ospreay, but it wouldn't have mattered because Will Ospreay was injured, which sucked. So Hangman Page won the title. Great. He hasn't been doing anything with it. I'm at the point now where I'm begging them to get that belt off of him. I'm begging MJF to come back and cash in, please. Please. Hopefully it's soon. I'm at the point now where I'm ready for them to just hurry up and do Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita. Kazuchika Okada versus Konosuke Takeshita is literally the best thing. The best built feud they've done all year. All year. I look at that feud and I go, well, clearly you can do long-term storytelling when you want to. And you know that match is going to cook. You know that match is going to be great. But he's not going to pull the trigger on that. Probably until World's End. Fuck that noise. Pull the trigger on it in Full Gear. Have him main event the show. Because there's nothing else here. You ain't got nothing else. I guess we're probably going to do one more Jon Moxley Darby Allin match. Let them have the violent match that they wanted to have, but couldn't because St. Louis and their commission. I just think right now, across the board, wrestling is just cold. Wrestling is just not fun right now. It's just not fun right now. WWE is so caught up in pricing out families. I saw that Nick Khan, the other Khan, came out during the quarterly earnings with TKO and said that, yeah, we're increasing prices to meet demand because we're selling out arenas. Not anymore, you're not. Not anymore, you're not. And the shows overall with WWE, yes, we got long-term storytelling, but Jesus Christ, the filler episodes in between are just atrocious, and they're getting worse. They're getting worse. But despite WWE not lighting the world on fire, they're still miles better than what AEW is. AEW's women's division is non-existent. It's non-existent. You got all these belts and barely anyone to compete for them. And now let's add another set of belts. Tag team titles. And I'm sitting here going, who's going to fight? Who's going to fight for the rest of these titles? Did we forget that despite the fact that Mercedes Moné is taking on Kris Statlander for the women's title, which she'll probably win, she'll probably end up beating Kris at Full Gear. I see it happening, although They could tell a story where Mercedes can't win the big one and she'll lose to Kris Statlander. That is also possible. I'm not ruling that out. But I have a feeling she is going to win the belt here. Okay, great. Now Mercedes has all of these belts. She still needs opponents to fight her for them. Also, what tag team division? What tag team division? Bro, Dito's the tag team champs. They're about to drop the belts to FTR. Why? Because FTR has to drop the belts to Edge and Christian. Excuse me. Cope and Christian. When they come back. And that's great and all, but what tag team division? Mark Briscoe's going to take on Kyle Fletcher, who everyone's saying is a future main eventer. I still don't fucking see it. But they've set up a stipulation where he has to win the belt in Full Gear. That's at least something. That's at least something. I'll take that. That should be good. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out what the hell they're trying to do with AEW. And we got people in the live chat saying Hangman Page is a great champion. Hangman Page is a great wrestler. Hangman Page is a great talent. His title reign is not great. His title reign is actually one of the worst they've done. It's boring. It's lifeless. Ain't nothing happening with it at all. It is. You can like the talent. I love Hangman Page. Heel and babyface. But the booking of his championship run is just not great. Please have MJF come in, cash in on him to bring some kind of intrigue back to that world title scene. Because there isn't any right now. There just isn't. Someone's saying blame Tony Khan. I agree. I don't blame Hangman Page for him having a sucky title run. I blame the head booker, who is who? Tony Khan. I agree. And where is Keith Lee? Speaking of world champions, where the hell is Keith Lee? He's healthy, but Tony Khan just doesn't want to book him. Okay. Whatever. Let's talk about this Lifeless show. I'm praying that next week, Blood and Guts is a return to form. You would have to try really, really hard for that show to suck. It's literally Blood and Guts. Just violence. And both matches are going to go long. You could have a couple of filler matches in between. But you would literally have to try to make that show suck. I will be very furious with AEW if Blood and Guts next week is utter garbage. And no, it doesn't seem... they didn't do a great job of hyping that show for me this week. I didn't think they did a great job at all. But because of the concept alone, it should be fine. It should be... Matter of fact, I have a feeling that Blood and Guts, their version of War Games, might be better than this year's War Games for WWE. I have a feeling. I just got that feeling, but we'll see. Let's move things along. Let's talk about... Well, first off, let me say hello to the people. Let me plug the sponsorship. Let me do the shout-outs. And then we'll preview Blood and Guts next week, as well as talk about whatever I want to talk about when it comes to Dynamite this week. It's not going to be everything. But thank you all so much for joining me anywhere here. Whether you're watching me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, I appreciate you for making me a part of your day. If this is the first time you're watching me, do me a solid favor. Like the video, subscribe, and click that bell to catch all my content when it comes out. Wow, your edit help expand the brand by doing the following things. Join the membership. Click that join button and get the opportunity to request a video of your choosing, whether it's a live reaction, a hot topic, or a review, past, present, or future. Also, don't forget to give thanks. Hit that super thanks. If you would like to donate after the fact, you can also like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, just Alyx Central. Give me a follow on Instagram, give me a follow on Spotify, give me a follow on Cameo, give me a follow on Threads, follow us on Discord, follow me on Blue Sky, where the skies are clearer. And and give me a follow on TikTok. For I am the tickest of the talkist. Donate using PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, Venmo. And yes, Super Chats are official on you. Can donate at any point in time during the broadcast to get your thoughts played live on the air. Email me at justalexsworld@gmail.com for business inquiries just to say hi. Get yourself a t-shirt today at Pro Wrestling Tees and Teespring. Are you a Just Alex guy? Then join the club. Get you an I'm a Just Alex guy t-shirt. High out the press. Also get you an old school Deluxe Man t-shirt. Get you a new school Alex's World t-shirt and many more t-shirt designs coming your way. So stay tuned. Join the cause. Expand the brand today right here in Alex's World. Thank you to SeatGeek for being the sponsors of this episode of this week's broadcast for AEW. Now, if you're someone that is interested in AEW and you're willing to spend the money to go see them, I can help you get a leg up on that. SeatGeek right now is offering a discount using my promo code JustAlex for $20 off any ticket purchase. Trust me, when you're trying to get those WWE tickets that are overpriced, you're going to need this. You're going to need the $20 off. It will help you. So how's about we get a quick word from our sponsor before we get to some shout-outs. Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek. If you're a wrestling fan looking for access to great seats for any wrestling event near you, then you want to use this app. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek stands as the unrivaled #1 ticketing app in the market today. SeatGeek constantly delivers incredible deals on ticket prices. When you're exploring the app, keep an eye out for the special green dots that mark the best deals. What's even better is that every ticket you purchase is backed by SeatGeek's buyer guarantee, with the option to return your tickets and even swap them before the events. So here's an exclusive for you. If you click the link down below and use the promo code JustAlex, you can get $20 off your first purchase. Yes, $20 off any ticket that you purchase using the promo code JustAlex. This is a sweet deal that you could use literally right now. So don't wait. Click the link, download the app, and join the SeatGeek family today. Again, thank you all so much for being here. Show your love to the Mod Squad, Ultra, Shine Nights and Firestar Heart, Elias, a Demon, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Khalil does everything. Hey, we did land. A Danger, Dylan Danger, Teflon Don, the Mod Father, Xena, Enigma, and of course, Big MGM. Let's not forget about Angel, Holland, Beck, Mrs. Firestar Heart. They all help keep this a safe space for wrestling fans like you and like us. Please be sure you like the video. The more you like the video, the more opportunities I will be given to be recommended here on YouTube. So help boost the algorithm by hitting that like button. Who's here? Who in here? I see Chris Wrestling Views. Welcome, sir. Good to have you here. I got JJ. Who let the dogs out? Who? JJ Bulldog. I see Adam Ritter. Once again, shout outs to Mrs. Asuna Luna, who got married. Good to have you back. Ronwell Negales, you know what time it is. Anytime you see the world champ, ladies and gentlemen, you know what you gotta do. You gotta acknowledge him. You gotta bow down. You wanna know why? Because you the twos and he's the one. I am #1. The chosen one, the unwicked. Ronald says, Alyx, looks like my paycheck is finally coming on Friday morning and get my laptop repaired. Finally. In like a few days, I will finally get my laptop back that is repaired, and in a few days, I'm back. Will you be back for Survivor Series? That's the real question. No, for real. Good to know that your laptop's about to be repaired, my dude. Because I know what a pain that will be for me, for sure. Alfredo Oliva. Yes, another effing bout. I agree. Mike Pringle says Blood Guts is on his birthday. We gonna celebrate then. Joseph Winters. PYXY888. Aaron Teagle, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. I also see YouTube member Dawsey Chatham. We got Eric Tate, Bad booking for AEW. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. You ain't said nothing but a word. TXY Kadodan. Kadodan? TXY Kadodan. Andre Lavandaro. Bryce Blackwell. We also have, I want to be sure, BTC1. Good to have you here, sir. I think that's it. I told y'all there wasn't a lot of people. Did I say Joe Arredondo? If I missed you, I apologize. If I did say you get two shout outs. All right. The last one's going to go to Jordan Williams. AEW barely pushes the people who deserve to be pushed, who deserve to get pushed. This is just another belt for freshly squeezed pockets McAllister to win. Alyx, do you think this is why Chris Jericho and Britt Baker is thinking of leaving AEW at this point? So we both agree that Britt Baker and Chris Jericho are out. They're out, right? Yeah, they need to be out because this company's not it. Let's watch a Nikki Bella match. Hey. I'm not that desperate. God damn it, the show wasn't that bad. Let's calm down. Everyone's like, oh, so you wanna watch Nikki Bella? No! And no more belts unless it's for your pants. Or you're gonna give it to Mercedes Moné. I'm kidding. Dynamite, let's just knock this out the park, because who honestly gives a flying fuck? They were in Houston tonight. AEW was in Houston tonight. I could have gone, but I didn't because the show sucks. It's garbage. At least the weekly shows. Next week won't be bad. I think next week will be good, but this week was... I looked at the card this week and I said, nope. And I had every right to think it was going to suck because it did. So, November 5th, 2025, Houston, Texas, 1,500, easy sellout. If they didn't sell that out, I'd be like, uh-oh. They opened up with Samoa Joe, and apparently they were setting up a 6-man tag match at the end of the show. I don't give a damn. The 6-man tag match was a 6-man tag match. It wasn't anything special. I love seeing Eddie Kingston. That's great, but he lost, so I really hate it now. Eddie Kingston should not be losing. Eddie Kingston should be winning, and Eddie Kingston should be competing against that world title. He should be the world champion. I don't like what they're doing with the world champion right now. And the ops are heels, which fine, but at the same time, it's like, there's nothing about them that screams heel. You know what I mean? Whatever. They're heels because Hangman Page is a babyface. I got it. But yeah, that was the opening segment. Samoa Joe came out and interrupted Tony Schiavone, and then Eddie Kingston and Hook got out there, and then Hangman Page went out there, and then tag team match, player, holla, holla, holla. And then we did the first of many matches that would decide the advantage for next week. I thought Orange Cassidy and Claudio Castagnoli, although a little long, was a really good match. Very good back and forth. Claudio is another one that should be competing for the world title, but what do I know? Claudio did win, as he should. Orange Cassidy has no business beating Claudio Castagnoli. But the match was good. It was a very fun match. Briscoe is backstage talking to Kyle Fletcher and Don Callis, saying, give me another shot. I want another shot. And Don Callis is like, look, bitch, if I give you another shot, what am I going to get in return? What am I going to get in returns? Not in return, but in returns. And then he said, I know what you can give me. If you lose, you get to join the NWO. I mean, you get to join the Don Callis family. So, Briscoe's going to win the belt. Cool. Kyle Fletcher. Look, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a fan of Kyle Fletcher, but they need new main eventers, so fuck it. Move him up. Move him up. Get the belt to someone that I actually want to see win the belt. Mark Briscoe. I actually want to see Mark Briscoe win the belt. Wow. actually might like to see this match. Although I am kind of scared that they aren't going to have him win. Which would be dumb. Dumb like Braun. I took y'all back. I just took y'all back to Shane McMahon and his heel turn. All right, let's move on. They're doing a 6-man tag. It's Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express taking on the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander. And it's for $1 million. If it's not another title, it's another match for money. Tony Khan, unless I'm going to win $1 million, if Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express wins, I don't give a damn. That is a dumb concept. That is such a dumb concept. Will the match be fantastic? It's Jurassic Express, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Josh Alexander. I don't see how it can't. But anyone else just sitting here wondering, what are we doing with Kenny Omega? How do you not have anything for Kenny Omega? Kenny Omega! Why can't Kenny Omega fight Hangman Page? Why are we doing that match? Why are we running that back? What are we doing? Kenny Omega is directionless. Is that his fault? No, because I have a feeling originally he was going to fight Andrade. But Andrade, unfortunately, had the mishap with WWE, so he can't be on TV. Regardless, Kenny Omega should have something to do. But instead, Kenny Omega is thrown into a 6-man tag for Full Gear. And I'm sitting here wondering why. Also, it seems like they want to reunite the Elite. Why? Who asked for that? Who's asking for any of this stuff? Anyways, Athena and Mercedes Moné take on the Babes of Wrath, Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale. Match was very good. Great back and forth. Love the tag team chemistry between Athena and Mercedes Moné. I was certain they were going to the finals. But they surprised me. You had some interference from Billy Starks, and then, of course, the women's champ came out to ruin all that. And then the distraction allowed for Harley Cameron to hit her finisher, which looked devastating. Looked like it killed Athena. Great sell by Athena. And then she pinned Athena. Mercedes Moné lost the match. Huh? Thanks to Kris Statlander, yeah, but still. Mercedes lost the match. So Harley Cameron and freaking Willow Nightingale will probably go to the finals. If they go to the finals, they need to win. They need to beat Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa. I'm serious. If Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale go to the finals, give them the belts. Don't you dare give Toni Storm and Mina the belts, if that's what we're doing. Although I have a feeling it's going to be the Sisterhood of Evil, whatever the fuck. Sisterhood of Sin. The Sin Sisters. Julia Hart and Sky Blue. You know who I'm talking about. Because it's got to be baby faces and heels, I suppose. Or they might surprise us and go with Marina Shafir and that tall girl. That tall woman. What was her name again? Megan Bain? Megan Bain. Cool. But I like that. I did like that Willow and Harley one. That was a shocker. A legit surprise, which I didn't think would happen. And then they made the announcement of the AEW National Championship that's going to be decided in a casino gauntlet match at Full Gear. And I'm sitting here wondering, why would I give any less of a fuck than I already do? I couldn't give less of a fuck. I couldn't. But Ricochet does come out, and so does the Herp Syndicate, and because, we can't get enough of this. Can we move on from this, please? I'm ready to move on from the Herp Syndicate and Ricochet. Ricochet should be competing for a title. I mean that. Like, he should be competing for a title right now. But they're all talking about I'm gonna win the title. No, I'm gonna win the title. No, I'm gonna win the title. It's a worthless title. No one cares. Daniel Garcia versus Darby Allin. I don't care at all. Darby Allin is great. I love Darby Allin. I don't even hate Daniel Garcia, but holy crap, did he regress? He got worse after being added to the Death Riders. He didn't get better. He got worse. Match was great. I love the back and forth they had, like that drop kick spot where he put Darby Allin's head in between the steel steps and then drop kicked it. That was nuts. But then Darby Allin won with the Scorpion Deathlock, so I suppose since he beat Jon Moxley with it, he's just going to beat everybody with it. All right, sure, whatever. And then after the match, everyone came out. The men came out, and then they brawled. They brawled, y'all. They brawled. We'll talk about the men's match in a second. After this, I believe, was the FTR segment that no one gave a fuck about. FTR comes out. They're making fun of Bandito's family, apparently, and saying, I want you to be my mommy. Pause. And then, I think, what was his name? Galaxy? Gravity? I called him Galaxy. The brother of Bandito tried to fight him off. He gets his ass kicked, and then Brodito come out to make the save. Okay, very generic, very boring. Don't know why what the hell? Megan Bayne versus Mina Shirakawa. The best part of this match was Timeless Toni Storm asking Excalibur, when are you going to commentate on my orgies? I'm not making that up. Toni Storm said live on TV, hey Excalibur, when are you going to commentate on my orgies? That's a good ass question, Excalibur. When are you going to commentate on her orgies, and when can I watch them? Maybe a Toni Storm orgy would save AEW. Hey, I'm not lying. Am I lying? If I'm lying, I'm dying. A Toni Storm orgy could save AEW. It would get millions of views. Millions of views. Millions of views. Millions of views. But the match happened, and Megan Bayne actually decimated Mina Shirakawa because. And then all the women ran out to the ring just like they did with the men. And then the main event was Hangman Page, Eddie Kingston, and Hook taking on the Ops. And the Ops retained, because who gives a fuck? All right, like I said, there was nothing to this show. It was paint by numbers. You could have skipped it. But let's talk about next week. Let's talk about Blood Guts. So, because the women are going to open, we can talk about the women. We'll start with the women. The women? I like how I said the women. We'll start with the women first. So, it's Team Hater? Team Hater. Team Tony. Team Statlander. I don't know. The baby faces are Jamie Hayter, Queen Amanada, Willow, Nightingale, Harley Cameron, Timeless Toni Storm, and Kris Statlander taking on the Triangle of Madness. What? Okay. I guess Death Triangle was taken. So, Triangle of Madness. Julia Hart, Sky Blue, Tekla, Megan Bayne, Marina Shafir, and Mercedes Moné. This match should be crazy. So that's a strong lineup, honestly. And it's going to be hard for that to suck. I'm assuming that, and this is how I feel. I think we're going to have a heel team win one match and then a babyface team win another. And so my prediction is that the heel team wins this one. So Team Mercedes Moné will win, and then the women will fall. This is going to be a brutal match. This might end up being one of the most brutal matches they do for the women ever. Because you got a lot of women in here who aren't afraid to go there. And it's going to be lots of attacks. It's going to be lots of weapons. So I'm a little terrified for this match. Matter of fact, because Toni Storm's in it too. It's going to be wild. And it's one of those things where you watch a match like this and you expect it to be great. And you go, why was this now a pay-per-view? But whatever, we're getting it for free. The men, though. Death Riders versus the Conglomerate? The Conglomerate sitcom. Essentially, it's Darby Allin, Roderick Strong, the Conglomeration, which is Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, taking on the Death Riders, Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Willow Yuta, Daniel Garcia, and Pac. All right, so I think all the stuff that Darby Allin and Jon Moxley wanted to do at St. Louis at Wrestle Dream, they're going to do here. They couldn't do all that stuff there. They'll do it all here. Yes, the women is 6 versus 6. The men is 5 versus 5. I don't know. I didn't book the match. So, yeah, I am very intrigued. I am curious to see what match is going to get the longer time. And I'm assuming the men are going to main event. But all that violent shit that Darby Allin and Jon Moxley wanted to do, we're going to get it here. And I'm excited to see it. So if the heel team for the women is winning, I'm going to have the babyface team, Team Darby Allin, and the Conglomeration win here. And then we'll do one more match between Darby Allin and Jon Moxley at the pay-per-view. And then we'll wrap this up, hopefully. They need to go ahead and wrap up whatever the hell they're doing, so we can give the belt to Darby Allin already. There you go. That's my thoughts on AEW. That's my thoughts on not Wrestle Dream, freaking Blood and Guts next week. The show will be good next week. All right, I'll be positive next week. But this week can go straight to hell. This show sucked. Another belt makes no sense. Tony Khan, do better. It's not great. It's garbage. If you disagree, have at it. Have at it in the comments. Have at it in the live chat. JJ Bulldog says, I'm so sick of Jon Moxley's group. I am definitely sick of the Death Riders. Been over it. Give me your scores. Give me your grades. What do you rate tonight? What do you rate tonight's show? People can have good wrestling anywhere. Hell, TNA has better wrestling. TNA? I saw a couple of matches on TNA that were outstanding. The booking wasn't great, but the match itself was incredible. So having good wrestling is not going to do it anymore. It's just not. Hangman Page is a great champion. Hangman Page is a great wrestler and a great talent. He is not a great champion, in my opinion. Not this championship run, at least. Where is Keith Lee at home? That's a good question, though. Oh, you're not gonna make me as your chosen one? That's funny. You might want to rethink that for a second. Joseph Winter says, I'm never acknowledging Ron Will because I'm Seth Rollins. Hilarious. Well, Joseph Winters, if you don't acknowledge him, then beat him at the world title. Beat him for the title. Yes, I am looking forward to seeing Corpse CA versus Ryan Nagala soon. I would pay good money to see a Toni Storm orgy. Who wouldn't? $50 right now. Let's go. Who gives a damn about Daniel Garcia? I don't. Do you? I genuinely don't give a damn. Why is Tony Khan booking Eddie Kingston like a jobber? Because he sucks. Not Eddie Kingston. Tony Khan sucks at booking. Honestly, don't care about Blood and Guts. I wouldn't blame you for not caring because the hype has been garbage. But I think the show is going to be great next week. It's hard for that to suck. It really is hard for that to suck. So far, Tony Khan is just putting out the roster on the Don, putting out the roster in the Don Callis family. No, literally, that's what he's doing. If they want my title, best to do it at Royal Rumble, but watch out for Corpse CA and Noel, because I'll be in commentary with King AJ if it happens, and I'm awarding them if that happens. Ron Noel is essentially saying, you're not beating me at Survivor Series, you're not beating me at Saturday Night's main event for John Cena's last match, but you can try to beat me at the Royal Rumble, because I'll be stepping aside then. I'm thinking about a good Let me see. JJ Bulldog says, I'm thinking about going to Blood and Guts, but depends if it's going to be worth going. Go. It's going to be a great show. Go see Blood and Guts. Go see it. I guarantee you'll enjoy it. Honestly, I think Blood and Guts might be one of their best shows all year. That's not me over exaggerating. I think the show's going to be great. I will be shocked if the show sucked. Just Alex is saying good wrestling is bare minimum. Yes, it's the bare minimum. You gotta have more now. There isn't a scarcity of good wrestling nowadays. Not in my opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead and end it here. AEW needs to get their act together because this isn't good. But thank you all so much for making me a part of your day. Show your love once again to the Mod Squad. Do all the YouTube things, like the video, subscribe, and click that bell to catch all my content when it comes out. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and donate using PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and Venmo. I will see you Friday. The international title will be on the line. Let's see who comes to get Drew Usher's belt. Until then, thank you all for watching. And I'll catch you guys next time right here in Alyx's World, a place that is, was, and forever will be a safe space for wrestling fans like you. Peace.